Previously on the Jay and Dan podcast.
Actual emergencies are happening. I'm like, yeah, there's a guy saying a few too many swear words at the park. 911. Is this Jay Onrait again? Yes. Yes, it is.
I found new CKDJ air checks.
Told the waiter I wanted to have some turtle soup. Well, like a lot of people, I changed my mind. I wanted some pea soup. So, when he was halfway back to the kitchen, I yelled, "Hey, waiter, hold the turtle and make it pee."
Make it pee. What are you, from the South?
Make it pee.
Make it pay.
And if that doesn't turn your crank, well, just before that, you can check out the Job Search Workshop. On Saturdays, snow bus service will operate from 11 a.m. till 10 p.m. And on Sundays, service will run from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m.
It sounds like I have a mouthful of water and I'm afraid to spill it.
It does sound like you have something in your mouth.
Seems officials stopped Saguna Cordova at the... Where did they stop her? They stopped her in the customs. You can see by the look in Paul's dark, hollow eyes, he's happy. As he launches into yet another song. I walk on. Santo Domingo in her yam.
Why am I on CKDJ?
You're listening to the Jay and Dan podcast.
The Jay and Dan podcast, brought to you by Rubik. Dance. Make it pay.
We're smack dab in the middle of April 2019. It's April 15th, 2019.
Winter's almost over.
Well, here's the thing. I should give you a heads up. I'm getting my winter tires off as we speak, so that's going to mean winter's
going to
winter's
continue
coming
for
back with a
another
vengeance.
3 months. Yeah.
Sorry about that.
You really cursed everyone, but it's okay. No, it seems like maybe we're there.
Oh, yeah. We're in the clear. I have tulips starting to sprout.
Again, we realize we're in a different part of the country.
Yes, I know.
The rest of the country may be experiencing lots of snow and such. I know my brother-in-law works up near Lac La Biche, Alberta. Last week said it was -10. There was snow everywhere.
The Biche. Do they call it the Biche there?
I think they might. They certainly... I wonder if Truckers is still open, the bar there. Truckers?
I think it closed.
Oh, man. If I'd known, I might have tried to save it. With some of my TSN monies. Guys, I'm here in the Biche, and I'm saving Truckers. I want to be like, why? Why'd you do that? You wasted your money.
What a weekend.
What a weekend it was.
Tiger Woods forced my... I was in Toronto, so
I wondered about you. You'd taken the girls for a daddy girls weekend, and I thought, I wonder if he's going to force them to watch the Masters.
Whenever there's a big tournament, I force them to watch. But so we were in the car. It's an hour drive from Toronto to where I live. So on Sunday, I put the golf on the radio, and they slept the whole way. So when we got home...
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, that was great.
Nap time.
Then I forced them to watch Tiger win. And then later on, I said, wasn't that cool seeing Tiger Woods win? And my youngest, Ruby, says, before today, I had no clue Tiger Woods was.
Of course not. She's a tiny girl. They have no clue who that guy is.
So I thought this big moment.
They don't know who any of the golfers are.
They're like, yeah. All I get is, so he wins. They're like, who's that? Who's that person? Are those his kids? Where's the mom? What? I'm just.
Well, you're doing it to yourself. Why don't you just slap a couple of tablets in front of them, send them to the other room, and Daddy has his private viewing time.
They do that, though, and then they watch the shows. I can't say. Families playing hide and go seek, and they're watching them on the YouTube.
Yeah.
Play hide and go seek with one. I'm like, why don't you guys just do that yourselves?
A family fun pack. And better question, I don't think about that so much when my daughter's watching that stuff. I think, how do I start doing this and make money off of it? I mean, I can perform in front of a camera. I can play hide and seek. I could start a YouTube channel. Give me a YouTube channel.
You should start YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube.net.
And
YouTube.org.
all these parents playing hide and go seek with their kids, are they sharing any of the profits?
No chance. Well, they probably can't.
Like when these kids grow up, are they like, Mommy, Daddy, I saw all these videos that you made when I was a kid. Where's the money?
8 million views, Mommy and Daddy. 2 million subscribers. Oh, where's the money? We're in a trailer park.
Dollar bills, y'all.
And then they just say with the money, it's hide and go seek. You find it.
It's gone, though. You'd be looking a long time. Why is the parent talking like that? You find it. It's like some Eastern European dad.
My Ruby is obsessed. She wants to start a channel.
Yeah, I think that's... Nobody wants to be on TV anymore. The goal, it's like Lori Loughlin's daughter, right? The
Influencer.
She didn't want to go to college. She didn't want to be on TV. She just wanted to be a social media influencer. And she parlayed that into some serious sponsorship dollars, like Sephora and other ones I can't remember.
I love Zizaz.
I think Zizaz actually did sponsor her. Zizzies.
And I point out to my kids while they're watching these videos, they have unskippable commercials.
Yeah.
So I say,
But not as long.
still, it's essentially like TV.
Everything's essentially like TV. Like when someone said to me the other day, a good friend, listener of the podcast, he's been loving you, by the way, Toolsy. Thinks you're on fire lately. And he said, what are you guys worried about DAZN? Are you guys concerned about DAZN? And if people don't know, DAZN, which is spelled D-A-Z-N in the most douchey thing of all time, is a streaming service. And they've got a lot of properties in Canada, lots in the States, but lots in Canada already. They just got the English Premier League for a couple of seasons. They have Champions League. They have, NFL Sunday Ticket, I think they have. Anyway, he's like, aren't you guys worried? I'm like, but what I don't understand is, okay, so if I get DAZN, and then, but I wanted to watch the Masters and I don't have cable, well, I got to get that TSN app. And then I want to watch the hockey, I got to get the SPAC app. Okay, so now I'm running about $50 a month now.
Yeah.
And maybe I want to just stick with cable for now.
Again,
That's my pitch for cable.
within like a year or maybe less than that, people will realize, hey, cable TV, it's not so bad.
Yeah, probably not.
We just have to fix the guide. I've pointed it out a million times. Bell executives, I know you guys are listening to this during your big meeting.
Oh, yeah.
you have every
I bet you
Tuesday
they put
morning.
it on, that's right, every Tuesday, round the table.
Make your guide look like Netflix, and then people will come flooding back to cable. Right now, it looks horrible.
The problem is, it still has to have some sort of time element, cable, right? It still has to have things at the start.
But I don't think they do, because the other night, I said, I forgot to record John Oliver. Then I looked it up on the guide.
Yeah,
And they just said,
on demand.
No, not on demand. On the TV guide thing. And it just says, you want to start it? Watch it right now? Click it. Yeah.
Oh, because you'd gotten into it late.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So make a picture there. Click on it. I don't know. I need to talk to someone.
Yeah.
Am I making
trying
sense?
to save, kind of. I mean, again, the only element, again, I guess you could redesign it slightly so that you could have it look like a Netflix or a Crave,
Yeah, Crave is amazing.
like a Crave template, but then somehow indicate when things start. Because with cable, it's still going to be, you can watch it on demand, but you can also see it live. Like Game of Thrones last night, for example. A lot of people want to watch that right at 9 o'clock when it comes on so that it doesn't get spoiled for them. How do you show that on there? I don't know. All I know is I'm just going to keep subscribing to everything.
And can someone from Bell come over and help me with what shows a recording of?
After what you said about Bell customer service, I don't think that's happening.
I'm recording, what's that police show, Live PD?
Adult films?
I'm recording it every episode. I didn't start this record. I can't stop it.
Wait, what?
Old man Toolsy.
Wait, what? Live PD?
It's like the new version of Cops.
Oh, okay.
Where they're like, oh, let's go to Austin, Texas, where this crew's about to make a takedown.
Ah.
They're pretending like it's live. This is
see.
all pre-recorded, I'm sure.
Right, I see now.
But it's entertaining, but
Yeah,
I've
people love
never
that
set a record for it.
Sure you didn't, Tulsi. Late night, had a few too many, and you're like, oh, this looks good. Record.
No, what I would set that on in that state would be our Sunday evening favorite.
Oh,
FailArmy. All it is people getting hit in the junk or the face.
Yeah. It's, if you haven't seen FailArmy, have you seen it, Stoff?
Yes, I have. Yes.
Yeah, it's...
Outdoor Life Network, I believe.
I believe you are correct. And every Sunday night, our camera guy, Glenn, who's nearing retirement, we're going to miss him so much, as a special treat, he puts FailArmy on the TV while we're getting ready for the show. And at first I was like, this is just like America's Home Videos all over again.
It is.
But doesn't
And
it
then I
feel like
realized-
it's always the same episode over and over?
Yes! Just like America's Home Videos.
Don't ruin it for us.
And by the way, it feels like it's America's Home Videos all over again because it is America's Funniest Home Videos all over again, but without Bob Saget. They don't even go with a host. They just get right into the videos.
And we watch it on mute. You don't even need the sound because
No.
you're like, oh, how's this person's getting in the nuts? Yeah, they got it in the
Again.
nuts.
Yeah, this guy's falling off the roof of his garage yet again. Hey, speaking of Paul Maurice, Stoff, I understand you have a clip here.
Yeah, I haven't heard this clip. I'm
I'm
very
excited.
intrigued.
I haven't heard this one either. Paul Maurice, coach of your Winnipeg Jets.
Yes, so this was right as the playoffs started. He was talking about Line A earning his spot on the top line. Here's what he had to say.
They wake up one day and go, I've got to do everything. I've got to finish my checks. I got to back check. I got to win the paddles on the wall. I got to do all those things. If I want to play in the A hole, can't use that set of sequences. If I want to play on the A line, well, that one, I think I'm going to blush on that one. You know what I'm saying? Okay, we're done today.
He had another side, like there. He had a
If I want to
small
play
one.
in the A hole,
No, keep going.
All right, after that.
use that set of sequences. In the A hole, can't use that set of sequences. If I want to play on the A line, well, that one,
He
that
did
one,
an oh.
Can we get a That's what.
well, well,
And FailArmy just put those in every nut shot.
well.
That's the Charlie Huddy. Is he still an assistant with the Jets? Charlie's in the room next to Maurice, and all night on the road, this is what he hears.
Well.
We're children.
Went to the Jays game Saturday.
Let's go Blue Jays. Last in the American League.
Yeah.
Not looking good.
I looked around the stadium, couldn't find any of those cartons of milk.
So we talked about this. In case you didn't hear it, the Blue Jays have a new $5 menu. $5 for all sorts of different items, or less, at Skydome. And one of those items is a small container of milk. We've all seen them, the small container of milk.
You call it a small, like you say, give me a small
Give me a
chocolate
small milk.
But then everyone here at work said, no, that's called a carton.
A carton.
No, a carton is like a liter of milk. No, that's a carton.
Or two. I feel like we seem to be in the minority here, but I'm 1,000% strong in my convictions. That's just a container or just a small milk. But either way, you couldn't find it.
No, I did the entire loop of the dome because little Ruby O'Toole, she wanted cotton candy. Turns out there was no cotton candy in the entire dome. Guess they...
Is cotton candy just not as popular as it used to be? I don't
Oh, no.
understand. I saw it at Disneyland a couple of weeks ago.
And it's a massive moneymaker. The ingredients are sugar.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have to put a lot of overhead into the cotton candy.
So we did the loop, and then once we finished the loop, I realized I didn't see any of the concession stands. Maybe it was tucked under a staircase, there's cheap items over here.
That is true though. I'm sure a Jays fan will send us a tweet and say, "Oh, you idiots, it's down here or it's here."
I need neon signs though to direct me.
Well, I don't understand this $5 menu only being in 3 concessions in the entire Skydome. If you're going to offer something, just offer it. People will buy it. People will buy the small containers of milk, won't they?
They've done a great job. I think they did some more renos in the offseason. Concourses looking great. The Skydome. Mm-hmm. Always nice and clean.
Okay.
Except getting into the stadium, still an issue.
This baffled me. So you said you showed up for the game 10 minutes before first pitch?
Yeah, it was a 3 o'clock start. We showed up at 2:50.
And there was an hour wait to get in.
Had to be at least. So we went over to a place called the Rec Room, and
it couldn't have been an hour. Maybe half an hour. Really?
Maybe
an hour. Still, why is it taking
standing
half an hour?
I'm gonna stand in line. The kids are gonna want to leave 30 minutes after we get in. I'm like, let's go play some video games. So we went to this place called the Rec Room. It's where our launch party was for the Jay and Dan show.
Yeah. A lot of promise back then.
So you go in and you play games and whatever, and the kids loved it. They do we have to leave? I'm like, yeah. You have tickets to a baseball game.
I love how you're like, yeah, hey, small daughters, let's go watch the most boring sport in the world. But Daddy, the video game's across the street. Nope. Daddy wants to watch. There'll be cotton candy, though, right, Daddy? I promise. Children, if you leave this video game emporium, there'll be freshly prepared cotton candy throughout the concourse of Skydome. We'll enjoy it together.
And I always get them through the gates of Skydome by saying, remember that time you got the foul ball? They're like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, that is pretty cool when a kid gets to do that. Yeah, I don't know.
And there was other gates closed because there's construction going on, so... Let me take over the gates. For one season. I will figure it out.
I am truly baffled, and lots of people have tweeted about this Skydome, why it's taking so long to get people into the building, especially when there are maybe 10 to 15,000 people there every night now.
Yep, there was 20,000 when I was there, and I'm like, oh, there must be a really big crowd, like 30,000, but there was 20,000.
If there were 50,000 every game...
I see that, yeah.
But it still shouldn't take that long to get. There's lots of gates. I know they have to check security and stuff, but maybe more security people?
Well, it's the bloody metal detectors.
Yeah, but getting into Dodger Stadium, Anaheim Stadium didn't take that long.
No, I didn't.
Right?
I didn't line up for...
We went through the same metal detectors there. I don't know what the hell's going on down over the Rogers.
So, Blue Jays... Send someone to another stadium with a notepad, with an iPhone.
One pen and one notepad, one small notepad.
Get them to stand out and okay, let's see what they're doing different.
Yeah. I'm with you, 100%. Hey, Dan, we got a ton of tweets about this.
What's that?
The Trivago guy.
Yeah.
DUI in Houston.
One guy at the J game came up to me and goes, hey, you're the Trivago guy. I'm like, no, I'm not. He's like, Trivago guy. I'm like, well, I hope not. He just got a DUI. He's like, Trivago guy. And then finally, my daughters came out of the bathroom. We're walking along, and the guy came up. He's like, I was just kidding. I thought it'd be funny. I'm like, okay. I don't know what I was supposed to say.
Like, what are you supposed to do there?
I don't know what I was supposed to say.
Yes, I guess I do look like that. Thanks for pointing that out. Now go find me some cotton candy for my kids.
Yeah, so Trivago guy.
I have to admit, he does look a lot like you in that mugshot. You after 12 screwdrivers.
I can't even do screwdrivers anymore. Acid reflux. So the Trivago guy, if you don't know the news, pulled over in Houston. Well, they didn't have to pull him over because he was asleep behind the wheel with his foot on the brake.
Why am I laughing? I don't mean to laugh at that. I apologize.
passed out behind the wheel at 3 p.m. in the afternoon in Houston. Buddy, Uber.
Day bender.
So
hey, we've all been on them.
Yeah, but we always walk home or take the bus or take a cab.
Who wants to get behind the wheel when they're that bombed? Like, I want someone to drive me so I can heckle them while they're driving. A cabbie, an Uber guy, a very kind person who goes out of their way to pick me up as a drunk person, only to have me heckle them from the back seat.
Yes, does he lose his job? Has that been announced?
It's a great question. I don't see how he can keep it. That's a tough one, isn't it? Like
yeah.
How do you screw that up? If you have that gig as a working actor, did anyone know who that guy was? First of all, I still don't know what his name is. He's just the Trivago guy. All the headlines, Trivago guy, DUI. So
and those commercials, if you are the spokesperson for a brand, that's massive money.
Massive money. So he's making all this money from Trivago. His life has changed. Would you not say to yourself, okay, couple of rules. Don't get drunk in public. Don't. If I even think it's a borderline activity, I won't do it. Mm-hmm. I'll just keep all my shenanigans to my house. And that's the sacrifice I have to make.
Or my hotel rentals
on Trivago, my 5-star resort that I got on Trivago. Just keep it to there. Don't get behind the wheel. Hire a driver to go everywhere if you got problems with booze. Yeah, I felt bad.
His name, by the way, Tim Williams.
And someone said he was on an episode of The Sopranos.
Really? Mm-hmm. He also has a country album out, stuff, doesn't he?
I will look that up immediately, but apparently he resides in Germany right now.
See, I always thought he lived in
that,
Germany.
Yeah.
When the commercials first started, there was a story about him. So what was he doing in Houston? Doing a little Trivago convention. Nah, no longer.
So
he was born in Houston, actually. So
okay. Going home, visiting family.
So let that be a lesson. Don't be dumb. If you have any cocktails in your system, don't chance it. As I always tell friends, they're like, "Oh, that's gonna be expensive to get." I'm like, "Yeah. What? Say it's $100 for the cab ride. Say you're going to a far distance. Isn't that better than losing your license or killing someone?"
Yeah. Yeah, killing somebody, losing your license, going to jail. Not good.
This is Tim Williams.
Here we go.
Magnolia
on
City.
CKDJ.
Hi, I'm Tim Williams. I'm from Houston, Texas. I'm an actor, a musician, and most of you might know me out there as the North American Trivago guy. Yes, that guy on your TV commercials.
Now I've seen you change.
I always knew I wanted to do something in the entertainment world. Acting happened to come first, but I've always had a passion for music. In between acting gigs, I was able to get together with a friend of mine who's a famous music producer.
This is his hit single. I'm Tim Williams.
I had the idea that I wanted to go back to my roots and make some music that I grew up listening to, country music.
I'm calling Houston. A problem.
Yeah, you do.
Just for
got a DUI.
He is wearing an astronaut suit while he's singing this song.
At first, I had the idea that I wanted to do
Why is he
covers of
talking
my favorite
again?
artists, such as Willie Nelson, Merle Haggard, Waylon Jennings. And then we thought, why not just share my own personal stories? My longing for Houston, my family, and my friends, and the past 16 years here in Berlin.
6 years in Berlin.
It's a good name for a country album. Just Angela Merkel with a cowboy hat on the cover with a couple of 6-shooters.
Wow. We've covered a lot of territory already.
A lot of different things to discuss, certainly on the Jay and Dan podcast. And Tim Williams' country music career is one I didn't think we were going to get to. Oh, before we get to our guest today, can we possibly check out these drops that you had saved from? This is from Serge Ibaka's cooking show stuff.
Yeah, so Serge Ibaka has a cooking show, and he had Kyle Lowry on, I believe, last week, and he cooked them some Philly cheesesteaks made out of testicles. So let's have a listen.
Okay.
You say you love Philly cheesesteak, right? Yeah. So today, I cooked testicle Philly cheesesteak. Bruh, okay? Man. Yeah, testicle Philly cheesesteak today because you say to me, what the fuck? Okay? What? Wait, what kind of testicle is this? Beef testicle. It's a beef testicle Philly cheesesteak.
That's a good question.
Yeah,
that was my first question. Whose testicle is this?
Whose nuts
That
are
is my
these?
favorite part, actually.
Bro, at least now you know how the balls taste.
Oh boy.
Wait, what kind of testicle is this?
That is a good question, though.
Bro, at least now you know how the balls taste.
Rujos.
These are Hoffa's nuts.
Who is our
Hoffa's-
guest today?
Hoffa's nuts. Wait, is there any more?
No, that's
those are the
highlights
two
right
drops?
there, yeah.
Okay, that was good.
Wait, what kind of testicle is this?
Prairie oysters. That's what they call
Have
them.
you ever had them?
Never.
Yeah, they're fine. I thought I'd try them.
Yeah, why not? If someone wants to send us some nuts, we'll eat them. We'll eat them, Rob.
Who's our guest?
So our guest today, ladies and gentlemen, we're very excited about this, is our friend and former colleague, Derek Taylor. Derek was a SportsCenter anchor up until this past Wednesday. He has left the network, and he's taking a job in... Oh, stop. We got to get Experience Regina queued up. Let's hear it. He's got to... Oh. He's going to take a job in Regina Radio as the new play-by-play man for your Saskatchewan Roughriders, taking over from Rod Peterson.
That's huge. This is
massive.
For people that don't know,
Massive
you're from
gig.
Ontario. To be the voice of the Riders in Saskatchewan, that's like the best gig for radio play-by-play in the CFL.
I
Hands down.
think there's no question about it. And in addition to that, I believe he will also be the Monday to Friday host of Sports Cage, which is their... it's not a rider show, but it kind of is a rider show. They basically just talk riders.
They were on location when we were in Estevan.
Right, yeah. It's a massively popular show, so he'll host that and then do play-by-play for the riders. And this is exciting because Derek and I have an interesting history that we're going to delve into. It involves testicles.
And meanwhile, I've only met Derek like twice, I think, and once was at an Argos game at the tailgate party.
Yes, his wife Fiona was out. I remember that. That was for the Jay and Dan Day.
That's right.
So Stoff, I'm very excited to welcome to the podcast for the first time, just as he's leaving, Mr. Derek Taylor. How are you, buddy?
I am doing very well. You guys know that Jay and Dan Day was at an Argos Saskatchewan Roughriders game.
That's
It
right.
was. It was.
I got to call a Riders touchdown. Not well at all.
We were a little rusty. We had been in LA for 4 years and had not been following the league closely. And then Rod was like, "All right, guys, take over." We're like,
Blackie always hanging you out to dry. Hey,
Brandon Bridge.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's
How
another
are
way
you?
to start.
How
I'm
are
doing
you?
Fantastic. I've been. You guys are very familiar with moving. I am moving and packing everything in my life to haul it across the country. So thank
Again.
goodness- Yeah, exactly. Thank goodness. Like unlike you guys, I don't have to cross a border, so I won't run into any car problems with my old Lexus or whatever Dan had a problem with. So
Yeah, and then also when you move stuff out of the country or across the border, no liquids. So if you have any booze, you had to drink it all, or get rid of it.
Oh.
Yeah, so we had
Interesting.
those issues as well.
Those are going with the good folks at United then. All right, sending all the booze with them.
So have you have a house here? Have you sold your house? Are you permanently out of the GTA?
So this was always kind of temporary because Fiona, my wife, just hated the thought of coming to Toronto. So much so that she's been in Saskatoon living and working for the last 2.5 years.
Right.
So everything's been pretty temporary. So I've been in a rental house, but we are already property owners in Regina, I'm happy to say.
Wow, that was fast. Fantastic. Did you get former Regina Sportsline anchor Craig Adam as your real estate agent?
Are they all? We had a different former professional athlete be our agent, Paul Waldo. So apparently that's a connection that people make from TV and sports to realtor. That's so interesting.
Jim Taddy, one of the top realtors in the GTA.
Yes, guy.
How's the real estate market in Regina right now? Is it booming, or did you get in at a good time?
Okay, so here's the thing. We always joke, right, that Toronto real estate prices are kooky talk. So my wife and I, we bought a 1,400 square foot bungalow that backs onto a golf course. And for that price, in the neighborhood, I'm just here in Port Union, so just the east end of like Scarborough, there's a townhouse that backs onto the 401 freeway, which would cost $100,000 more than we paid.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all.
But the freeway can be a nice view, Dean.
The view, the smell, the nonstop sound of the 3 a.m. guys going to work. So it's very stark, the difference. And this kind of crystallized it for us. But Lord willing, it's the last time we ever buy a house. So this would be... we're very happy with it.
And you say that, Derek, and that's no joke, because you could have this job for life.
Well, and that's totally true, right? Like Rod Peterson, who I'm taking over for, had the job for 20 years. Bob Irving in Winnipeg, 40 years, 45 years plus. In Calgary, 26 years. Brian Hall in Edmonton had his job for 40 years before he left it, before 2010. Like this is a job that once you get into, there's only 9 of them, right, in the entire country that are not TSN. So they're precious jobs, and I can't believe someone offered me one of them. Goodness.
And how did it come about?
So in January, I heard that Rod was leaving. Rod resigned from the job, and I didn't entirely know why. I know Rod a very little bit, but I didn't know why. And all I thought was, Fiona lives in Saskatchewan. I love football. I wonder if this might happen. And then 8 or 9 weeks worth of angst and just, oh my goodness, and worry, and am I good enough, and la la la. And the interview process, they were super thorough, the folks at CKRM, to make sure they got the right guy. So after 9 weeks of panic and worry, they gave me the job, and then I've had since then 4 more weeks of panic and worry. So it's pretty good.
So did you have to do a mock play-by-play of a game or anything like that?
I sent them some clips. I did a game for us at CSN. I did a preseason Ottawa-Montreal game back in 2017. So I clipped up some of the stuff. I got that Dwayne Ford out of there. I didn't want to hear his voice in there because you don't need to. That guy's super good. So I didn't want them to have a direct comparison that they could shove me down with. So clip that together, clip some radio stuff together, and boom, here we are.
Wow, that's fascinating. And had you had designs on that kind of specific job? Because you become really known for your CFL stuff, the details and all the other stuff that you do over the last few years.
Yeah, when 2006, Jay, you also worked at A Channel in Winnipeg back in the day. So I came after you, and then in 2006 they went, okay, everybody get out, we're not doing news anymore, and all of us lost our jobs. Mm-hmm. On that day, I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to drive down to the University of Manitoba and see what's up with their football play-by-play for the season, because this is the direction I wanted to go. My good friend Chris Zook made it all happen, did that for 9 years, and always wanted to get back to that. Because, I mean, anybody, if you've ever been to a live sporting event, you know the feel of being at a live sporting event is so amazing. It's calling the highlights from the fishbowl of Sports Center is great too, but, man, being at that game is just, it's different, and you're experiencing it live. I love it, and I always wanted to get back to it. So that I get to get back to it with the best franchise in the CFL is unbelievable.
So have Riders fans, we know how passionate they are, have they already reached out and said, okay, don't this up?
Well, I got a lot of hey, you're an before this. So now that I've gotten the job, people seem to have forgotten all the jokes I made about the Riders and guys faking injuries or Duron Carter is not very good at football. That's all been forgotten, thank goodness, because, man, there was some vitriol, before last season, but now it's all hugs and kisses, and I couldn't be happier for that.
That's fantastic. And you mentioned A Channel. Now, we go back even further, you and I do, because when I was in first year Ryerson, it would have been the fall of 1994, I moved in to a senior suite in residence, and my next door neighbor, the person in the room next door to me, was Derek Taylor. Incredible. And what an incredible year that was, living alongside you, the excessive drug use, the incredible amount of scotch that you drank and beers. You didn't. That's a lie. You were a total non-drinker, which I appreciated because the other four of us were polluted 24/7. So how horrible was that experience for you in that sense?
Well, you mentioned that today, and I'm like, wow, those were some of the greatest days, and it didn't matter, right? Like I've never been a big drinker. 25 years later, I'm still not. But I have no problem with it, right? So you would get those parties together at the 6th floor of Pittman Hall in Ryerson, and Tyler was, DJing it up, and the walls are just sweating with the.
They were very sweaty walls.
Of all those teenage, late teen, and early 20s ladies dancing, and you're like, oh, man, these are the greatest days ever.
Yeah.
So it didn't even matter. And you know what? That was the thing about the five of us there, right? No one made it seem like a thing. It wasn't really a thing, right? You're having a good time, silently macking on all the ladies. I just assumed because you were so under the radar. Bean was doing his thing. Tyler was spinning on the ones and twos. Petey had his gang going on. Like it was. Those are days I look back on fondly.
I remember you you had VHS tapes of every Michael Jordan NBA Finals, and many nights you would go get a Subway steak and cheese and like a 2-liter Pepsi, and just sit there and just crush games from Jordan's peak, and then.
I can't believe you remember steak and cheese. That's amazing.
And then you would also, then right around the time we were living there, I guess 94 is when Jordan came back from his 2-year, quote unquote retirement to play baseball.
Gambling suspension, yep.
Yeah, and I've never seen a person so thoroughly happy when Jordan came back. You were. This is the thing that's fascinating to me about you, Derek. Is I knew you as such a basketball guy, and then when we came back to TSN, you were such a CFL guy. Like I'm very impressed with how much you fell in love with the league over the years.
A lot of that, and to start with the basketball thing, I vowed if Michael ever comes back, I'm going to tape every game he ever plays. So when he put a double nickel on the Knicks at Madison Square Garden in his comeback, you're like, wow, this is incredible. And then all those finals, you would chart down who had what. In truth, it's my fascination with numbers that kind of leads me to all these places. That was really my hook for football, was calling University of Manitoba games, and I'd be thinking, man, they give up a lot of safeties instead of punting. I wonder if they should keep doing that. I wonder if that's mathematically correct. And then you realize, it's going to take me a year to figure out the answer to that question. And then, 12 years later, I'm still have questions like that. So it's my kind of obsession with numbers that leads me to football, and the CFL especially are kind of underserved in numbers. So I felt I could fill a void there. And based on the reaction from players and coaches and general managers and fans especially, it's done some good.
I'm glad you brought up numbers. I was having a conversation with my daughters the other day, and they're like, our teachers were telling us what math we'll need later in life and stuff. And they're like, Daddy, you don't need any math for your job. And then I told them, I said, actually, we need it a lot. All sports is numbers. Mm-hmm. And so with that in mind, are you a baseball fan? Because I find baseball is the most numbers-heavy sport.
I'm not particularly a baseball fan because it'll conflict so much with the football season. But if you said, hey, you're going to do a baseball show, I would be all over that because I would get down into OPS and WAR and park-adjusted OPS and zone ratings and stuff. I love all that stuff. So we're always trying to figure out who's good and who's bad so we can beat our buddies in an argument, right? So I love all that stuff. Baseball would be right up my alley.
Where were you? Refresh my memory. Before you came to A Channel in Winnipeg, where were you before? Were you in Canmore?
I was in Canmore, Alberta. I was the traffic reporter during the summertime in Canmore, Alberta, which was either the highways are wide open or Highway 1 is blocked because 100 elk in their big white asses are running across the highway. So you're going to have a bit of a wait.
Wait, Derek, you did traffic reports? I did that as well. In Vancouver, I flew around in a Cessna. Did you fly around at all?
No, I was in a Jeep. I was in the Mountain FM Mountain Cruiser.
Oh, you drove around looking for traffic.
Well, you had a traffic job in a real market. Like mine was literally, oh no, the highway's good. If you're going from Canmore to Banff, that's fine. Banff to Lake Louise, that's good too. Like that was my job.
That's the role.
So,
I love it. Well, okay, so the reason I asked is because I have a little story to tell. Now, again, I was at 8 Channel Winnipeg. Derek was in Canmore. We had stayed in touch after school. And I know you wanted to get out of the radio thing and into TV. Mm-hmm. And my boss at 8 Channel Winnipeg at the time was looking for male news reporters. There weren't that many out there. There were news stations were diversifying, hiring way more women, way more minorities, which obviously they needed to do. But as such, lots of males weren't going into news because there weren't jobs for them. So my news director, who turned out to be my first wife, said, "Do you happen to know anyone who might want to do a guy who might want to do news here? Like, we just need a guy. We have all women here." And I said, "Well, I got a buddy in Canmore, and he's, went to journalism at Ryerson, really good guy." I said, "I can call him." And so I called Derek, and I said, "Listen, there's a job here for you if you want it. It's a news job." And he said, "Great." And I said, "There's one catch." I said, "I know you love sports." I said, "She's very adamant that you do not come here, take this news job, and then if a sports job opens up, you're not allowed to apply for it. Like, you just can't. Like, if she brings you as a news person, you can't apply for the sports job." Derek was like, "No problem, buddy. I got it. I got you. I got it. I'm a news guy." So she hires him. He comes out, does an amazing job. 1 month in, he's killing it, reports every day. 1 month in, our weekend sports guy quits. And 3 seconds after Derek hears the news, he goes immediately into her office and says, "I want that job." I took a lot of at home that night. I took a lot of Of course I did. Of course I did.
I remember you telling me that story after the fact, and I had no memory of the, hey, don't apply for any sports jobs. Which, you say whatever you can to get the job, like your first on-air job, right?
Of course you do. Of course you do, yeah.
And if they don't know that, then I get it. But, man, yeah, I felt, when you told me that, I felt horrible because, I mean, all joking that we're going to do aside, you, Jay, have been instrumental in my career. Like, I'm not at this point in my career without you. Like, us being roommates, you had a job at TSN. I wanted to be a writer there so bad. You're like, hey, why don't you come to work with me? Came to work, got hired. And, I mean, that's, hey, come to Winnipeg. Oh, okay, that sounds amazing. So you have been, your support has been amazing for me. So I feel like to this day, I feel bad that I screwed you that way.
Oh, it's great. It makes for a great story, though. It's fantastic. And also, she was a little tough as it was. So, maybe she could have been a little more easygoing about it. But, I think it all worked out pretty well.
So wait, did you get the sports job?
I did. Okay, this is great. I didn't get the sports job. The next time it came open, I didn't get it. They hired a woman, and I was like, okay, well, fine. I'm not good enough. She actually, so she was doing the weekends, and the Safeway Select, which is the play-in for the Brier, was going that weekend. So she says to somebody, hey, what's curling? And they're like, oh, it's the Safeway Select, and the winner will get into the Brier. She said, no, what is curling? Mm-hmm. I have no idea what curling is. And I'm like, this person is better than me. Oh, am I doing the wrong thing in my career? Oh, boy.
Well, yeah, it was that time, though, It was, again, a lot, they had to hire a lot of different people. And, there's no other way to say it.
Yeah, I almost missed out on I did miss out on the job the third time because it came open again. I said, I'd love to do this job. Yeah, I think we're going to give it to you. I was like, okay, cool. I'm going to pass on this other opportunity to do sports. And then they said, we can't give you that job. Like, oh, my goodness. I am never destined to be on TSN. This is going to ruin my life. And a decade later, here we are.
Yes. No, you killed it on TSN. And I guess, as we let you go, there's one song that I feel like, is going to be played on a loop in your home. Stoff, can you cue that up for us, buddy?
Oh, boy.
You better know the lyrics to this one.
If anything, Derek, for when you're hosting Sports Cage, this is how the show should start every day.
Wow. the way he rolls the word experience is amazing.
What a song.
God, it's a great track.
Experience, Regina.
Hey, you've got it. You've got it, buddy.
So when do you leave?
I leave bright and early Tuesday morning, and I start there next week. So it's coming up real fast.
So are you hosting, because in addition to doing play-by-play, you're hosting the Sports Cage afternoon drive show, correct?
Yeah, from 4 to 6:30 every day on 620 CKRM. Do all 20 Riders games, plus they'll win the West, so 2-game run to the Grey Cup title this year. So 22 games this year. Yeah, I'll be doing a little bit of every sports director. So, Jay, if you have any sports director advice, I would love that.
Oh, God.
From back in the day.
Yeah. Those are the worst. That was the worst year of my life when I was the sports director.
Really?
Well, it was awful.
I wanted to be when I worked in Fort McMurray, I was the only guy in the sports department, so I asked our news guy, can I just call myself the sports director? He's like, nah.
Can you believe the places? Well, Jay, you didn't really have the long road. Dan, can you believe the places you've had to be to get to where you are? When you look back at it?
That's why we tell every aspiring broadcaster, go to these small towns. Go do the, what were you, in the Canmore Cruiser?
Yeah, I was in
get in the cruiser.
Get in the cruiser. Fly in a Cessna. Go to the places where you would never expect to go, and that's why you get to end up getting jobs like voice of the Riders.
Yeah.
And this has been the problem with my career is I've always had to compare myself to Jay because we were roommates in college. I'm like, wait a minute. He went from TSN, the sports director in Saskatoon, to the NHL network? Oh, it should be that easy for everybody. And it is not, because we are not all Jay. So
No, that's not true.
It's been hard.
And don't forget the big breakfast in Winnipeg in between there. I mean, that was...
Pardon me. That's right.
That was a grind in itself. That was a grind every day. No, I loved it. No, that's Dan's right. And also the other thing I will say is, and I don't know if you felt the same way, Derek, like with all the steps you made, but every one was kind of a joy. Like if you go in with the right attitude and just embrace it and enjoy it, I think it's, it's like such a cliche, but it's like the journey, not the destination, So I
100%.
I really enjoyed all my stops along the way, met friends that I still have to this day. And, obviously like it's all paid off. So I'm really thrilled for you, buddy. I think this is a huge job. This is massive. I assume that Chris Cuthbert is shaking in his snakeskin boots, that you may return one day and take over play-by-play duties here at the Leader. Wouldn't that be a delight?
Hey, wherever there's CFL, I'll be there.
I love it. Buddy, best of luck to you. Hopefully we can stay in touch with you throughout the season, and all the best to your wife Fiona as well, and I hope you enjoyed the 306.
Oh, it's going to be good. I got a new cell phone today with the 306 area code. I can't wait.
That's kind of an exciting...
Thanks, Derek. And I didn't send you a message because I knew you'd be coming on the podcast, so I wanted to say it in person. Congratulations, buddy.
Thanks, Dan. I appreciate that, man.
Okay.
Derek Taylor, the new voice of the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Love it.
Yeah.
Good guy.
That, as you said, it kind of clicked when you mentioned, that could be your job for the rest of your life.
Unless he pulls Tim Williams. What's the Trivago guy? Which he's not, because he doesn't drink. Derek doesn't have to worry about that.
Or he does his first touchdown call, and he's like, "It's Eugene."
Wait. Wait, what? That's going to be a drop.
And they're like, can you fix that touchdown call? Okay. It's Eugene.
You know what is funny, though? Like, he said, he obviously did play-by-play of a game on TSN, so you would assume he could do play-by-play.
Yeah.
But
and he did all that, those university games.
Yes,
for
exactly.
9 years.
No, yeah, the skills are there. But what if he just misrepresented himself and he didn't know any of the Rough Rider players? And then he showed up and was like, "Oh, there's that guy. It's dude." And I was like, "What?
I'm the green team with the ball.
Go Greeners." And the Greeners.
This is the Regina Greeners. No, it's the Riders.
Santo Domingo.
That's always... Do you ever have that dream that you show up at work and, like, you didn't prepare and you show up on set and you hadn't seen the highlights? And
we never prepare for anything, so no.
Right, so I
never had that dream. But I do have the dream where, and it happens all the time, where it's like I'm in fourth year Ryerson and I'm going to class and someone says, "Oh, you haven't been in this class all semester." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And like, "Well, you need this class to graduate. We're graduating in 2 weeks. Like, you're not going to graduate." And I'm just like, and then I wake up like, "Whoa!" Like, I'm not going to graduate? What? I have that all the time. I don't know why. Like some sort of thing about not being prepared in school. I don't know.
Well,
I don't know what it is. But one thing I was going to say, I forgot to mention to Derek, because I hate correcting people when they say something wrong, but he said Saskatchewan. He needs to say Saskatchewan.
Saskatchewan, yeah.
We need to make sure somebody gets that message to him. Saskatchewan. He's going to thrive there. He's going to do great. He's going to work so hard. And,
yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
He, even when he's not calling CFL games, he studies the CFL all
Yeah, he's just, speaking of people who are prepared, like you will, and I say this to Rider fans who are listening and wondering, okay, you're taking over for Rod, who did the job so well for so long. That's daunting. Derek will work so hard, he will make himself great at that job. There's just no question about it.
I do highlights of an NHL game, and some guy will show up in the highlight pack, and I'll say it. I'm like, who the hell is this guy? Producer Tim will like, he's been in the league for 3 years. Yeah?
Yeah. Who is he? Tim gets mad at you and me, if there's like a player that somehow slipped through the cracks for us. Like we just didn't, I don't know, just didn't see him that much or whatever. Yeah, and then Tim will be,
He was drafted last year. You don't know Frankie Barragano? You're not familiar with Andre Fakakisfaf? Well, you guys. Thanks for not being prepared for the show.
Yeah, so that's Tim. That's Timo.
Yeah, when we came back, especially on the when we came back from LA, especially on the Nashville Predators, there was about 10 guys on that team where I'm like, who the is that? I've never. They've been in the. Oh, Tim, shut the.
Yeah, we didn't cover as much NHL, and
we didn't cover any.
We didn't cover any. Again, I think I've told the story when the Kings. When we got there in 2013, the Kings made a run at the Cup that year and won it. Nobody on local sports talk radio in LA knew who any of the Kings were. And they would say it on air. I guess we have to learn the names of the Kings now. It's fine. It's fine. Oh, this has been a fun podcast.
Hey, did you watch Game of Thrones, the first one?
Sure did. You know what I thought?
Yeah, me too.
It's like, it felt like a big setup episode. And I know there's a lot of setup episodes in Game of Thrones, but I wanted something else to happen. They should have thrown us another thing.
I was talking to a friend about it. Well, my lady friend, and both of us, we know no character names. So we're like, that one. The one that, the one.
The Lord of Withington.
Zero names. We know zero names.
I get a little.
Dragon Lady?
I get a little confused with the names. I know the actors, but no, I gotta be honest. As I was watching, I was like, yeah, I'm kind of ready for this to be done.
Yeah.
Ready for them to wrap this up.
Do the dragons have names?
I think they do. Yeah. Yeah, I think they do. Yeah. So we'll continue to.
Does producer Tim watch Game of Thrones?
I believe he does.
So he would know those dragon names.
Now, here's something I'd like to start off. This is a new weekly segment.
Ooh.
It's Jay Onrait's Game of Thrones weekly recap. So if you don't want to know what happened on the season premiere of the final season of Game of Thrones, in 5 seconds, I'm going to say what happened and just go la 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 la. Okay, ready? Here's the 5 second. 5.
But wait,
four,
wait. How long's your recap going to last?
5 seconds.
Oh, okay.
So 5 seconds lead up, 5 second recap. Ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Jon Snow rode a dragon and committed incest. There you go.
Wait, what kind of testicle is this?
That's the recap. That's the recap.
The first part of your recap, that's where I'm like, what the is going on? Come on. This, really?
But again, it's all set up, right? You're going to set it up because at some point, to ride that dragon into battle.
Meanwhile, I'm watching hide and go seek videos.
Yeah. I'm watching Family Fun Pack and Jojo Siwa. I've seen so many Jojo Siwa videos.
So has your daughter got the Jojo Siwa hair products?
She has like a hat that has a bow on it or something. She's like, so Jojo Siwa, in case you don't know, YouTube star, and she was on, I guess she was on Dance Moms or something. And now she's like a pop star. And she has a show on Nickelodeon. Big deal. I guess a couple of weeks ago, Kanye West and Kim Kardashian's daughter, Northwest, Jojo babysat her. And they shot it for her YouTube channel. And so Isabel, my daughter, has watched that video 1,000 times. 1,000 times. And it's horrible. Like, it's just them eating gumballs out of a gumball machine. And it's just so bad.
Okay, so we need to work on our YouTube.
Yeah, we got to
You didn't call it YouTube. What did you call it again? Snood Tube?
YouTube.
We need to work on our YouTube.
I'm all
videos.
over YouTube. And I'm in love.
How about you and I go play hide and go seek with each other?
That would actually probably get a lot of views. You know what we should do? You know, Danny Wright, our social media guy, Danny Wright, who's listening right now. Okay, Danny's always coming up with cool ideas for social media. Like, everyone loves that when we play headbands. Why don't we play hide and go seek in the studio for the next one? See how that goes over. And then I want to see if it gets like 1 million views, like the Jojo Siwa ones.
But there's so much editing because every family member has a phone and they're on their phone with the camera saying like, oh, he doesn't know I'm here underneath the pillows in the spare bedroom. I hear his footsteps. And they have to edit all these together.
I'm going to hide directly between cameraman Glenn's legs. Just take it all in.
I'm right here under Glenn's testicles.
Glenn smells a bit musty down here. But it's a good hiding spot.
Tim's going to love this.
Ooh, our beards, our playoff beards are getting itchy. I put on some beard, what is it, beard oil? Beard lotion? I was going to say beard lotion. Lotion.
Well, that was the Graham Dillette tip. He said to stop the itch, get the oil.
It's not working so far for me. Maybe I got the Just for Men brand.
And Christoph, did you notice? Neither of our carpets match the drapes.
Yes, I did.
So my beard, if you don't watch our TV show, so we're growing playoff beards for the length of the playoffs. So it's going to be about a 2-month process. What's the longest you've ever grown a beard?
I grew on for a month in about 98 when I was backpacking through Europe. It was pretty thick.
Okay. I've maybe grown one for a week. So this is going to be it's going to be a good process.
Oh, it's going to be great.
So I have gray hair, but my beard is dark brown.
Mm-hmm.
Jay has brown hair. His beard is snow white.
Yeah, it's coming in very white, very Burl Ives. You look very Santa-like. I'm going to be very Letterman. I hope it gets that long. Wonder if I could keep it after the playoffs are over.
Undercarriage, white hair down there?
No, I'm all chestnutty brown in the pube area.
Okay.
How about you?
No, none.
Yeah, I don't have any gray.
No, I have
gray
no hair.
pubes.
I have no hair.
Oh, you shaved down there?
I'm kidding.
Did you wax?
Imagine that. The hair doesn't grow in, and you're like, one day, as an adult.
Oh, but I remember I was late to get pubes. I remember...
Late to the pube train?
Yeah. I remember being, 12, 13, and my buddies in Athabasca were like, oh, yeah, there's this guy in our class, like this poor guy. Everyone was like at swimming lessons or whatever. He's like, he's got no pubes. He's bald. And I was like, I'm bald. Down there, too.
Wait, what kind of testicle is this?
But who's going around looking at everyone's bush?
I guess these guys caught a glimpse and they didn't see any fur down there. And they thought this was somehow made him inadequate. And you see the you have to deal with in a small town. And then, so then I'm like, I got to be careful when I change now. People see that I'm bald.
I always found that strange. You go to high school and like grade 9.
Yeah.
Here's a bunch of kids you never met. Okay, you all go in there and change.
That's a problem. I knew them all.
Oh, so I had just all go in there and change. No big deal. I don't want to do that.
I had no problem with that. I wanted some pubes to grow. And so I remember I would do things like, I'd be like, okay, I'm not going to look at a penis or balls for a month. And then in a month, if I just think hard enough, I'll start to grow some pubes. And then I'd look down in a month and be like,
You just wanted an invite to the pube party.
I just wanted to be normal. Anyway, the pubes came.
So
big time. Now it's a half a globe.
When you had to change, did you tape some on?
No, I think I kind of just like, I don't know what I did. Kind of like turned around, like, told a joke and then turned around and quickly took off the boxer briefs.
Told a joke. Yeah, look at that guy. No pubes over there.
Yeah. And then, look at him. Way on the other side of the change room here.
Wait, what kind of testicle is this?
It's true, though. He's bald. I'm like, what? What do you mean he's bald? He doesn't even have no pubes on his balls. Like, I don't have any pubes. No, but you know what I mean? Like, it was that kind of thing. And I was like, well, oh, boy. Yeah, poor guy. Wonder what he's doing now, old pubeless. Because there's probably a good chance he doesn't have any now.
That's crazy. Okay, we got to go prepare for our show. I've got to do my research and figure out who plays for the Predators.
It's important.
Oh, you don't know Ivan Knockonoff?
I blame Tim. I wonder what Tim's pube situation was like.
Bye. See you next week.